Take care of that. Here we go. Let's talk about the CS. NLCS Game 1 just wrapped up. A 2-1 Dodger win over the Milwaukee Brewers. Also, there was a drubbing. Seattle took care of the Toronto Blue Jays. It is the Just Baseball Show, live and late night. Jack McMullen, Peter Apple. Who we brought to you by?
BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Remember, folks, download BetMGM, whether that be on iOS or Android, and use promo code JUSTBASEBALL. Why? First bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first wager loses. Just remember, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply. The problem with recording right after a game ends like this, I'm still shaking a little bit. Like
do you have the shakes?
My palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms spaghetti. That's not it. That's not even close to being
You
it.
got this. What's Eminem's real name?
Marshall Mathers.
Good.
I know that. Knees weak. We're not going to do this right now. I want to talk about
vomit on the sweater. Vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti.
But shouldn't that show you that I'm not in a good headspace right now to do the show?
Sure, I'm in a great headspace to do this show right now. I see comments here. How did Terang not wear that? Okay, I hear you. It's really hard in the moment, but yes, I understand. That was a doozy of a ball game. I want to start with that one and then work our way to Mariners Blue Jays, because that's going to be a quicker conversation. That was just domination by Seattle, and Seattle's up 2-0 going back to the Pacific Northwest. But let's start with Dodgers Brewers here. You did the little write-up for that. Give us the rundown of this ball game.
Can we start with the weirdest play maybe I've ever seen? That's why I love That's why I love baseball so much, is we can watch thousands and thousands of games. I mean, you just called the radio man for the Miami Marlins 162 games. And you've been calling games in the minor leagues where it gets even wonkier. You've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this.
Not close. Do you want to describe it? You want me to describe it?
I'll describe it. Bases loaded, 1 out. Max Muncy hits a towering fly ball that I thought left the park, but it didn't. Hits one to the wall. Sal Frelick leaps, bounces off his glove, bounces off the wall, then back into his glove. Throws it in, gets Teoscar Hernandez on a force out at home, and then Contreras tags third base, and everybody is saying, what in the world is going on? Shout out the outfield umpire. He was going like this for all those watching on YouTube. He was giving the safe sign, as in this was a live ball. This was not caught by Sal Frelick. But Will Smith is running back to second base, telling the other runner to go back. And Teoscar, I mean, you have to score on that, even if you aren't sure if it's caught or not. But he didn't. And they get the force out. And it is a force out because it was a live ball in play. It wasn't caught. And because its bases loaded, there's still a force out at home. And William Contreras has the foresight to be able to stretch for that ball instead of getting his mind all jumbled. Like mine was just jumbled on the couch. I can't imagine being in the moment. I tweeted out immediately, Brewers magic. There was no other way to describe that play other than they just have something.
I was with Aram and I were talking about this at the time. It was like, how did William Contreras know to stretch and receive that like it was a force at the plate? Did he see that ball bounce off the top of the wall? Did he see an outfield umpire say no catch, that hit off the wall? Like any other catcher in that situation, I feel like would have been bracing for a tag to try and swipe a tag across somebody sliding into home plate. Like Teoscar Hernandez, I think a lot of people got on Teoscar. I saw that on Twitter. Like, how do you not score on that throw? Like, you were at third base. It took him all the way back to the wall. The ball traveled 404 feet. Even with a slight delay, how do you not score? I don't know if Teoscar really knew the exact rule. And frankly, I don't know if I had a firm grasp on the exact rule. After that ball hit Sal Frelick's glove for the very first time, Teo can be off and moving.
Yep.
Like, as long as his foot is on the base when that ball hits the leather of Sal Frelick for the first time, if he bobbled that, it doesn't need to be possession. It just needs to be hitting the leather.
That's why it is on Teoscar.
What?
That's why it is on Teoscar.
Why?
You have
For
to
not
be,
knowing that? I didn't even know that.
but
I
as
thought you
soon
had
as
to have firm grasp of the baseball.
but even if it's as it, oh, true. Because if it like pops up in the air,
Yeah, it's first contact with the leather, apparently. Yeah. Aram just chimed in over. You want to hop on for a little bit?
yeah, Aram, come give us the rules.
Yeah, apparently it's first contact with the leather. It's not a firm security of the baseball. It's just first contact with the leather. So when that ball hit Frelick's glove and then popped off the wall, it could have jutted straight up Dwayne Wise style. Like as soon as that ball hits the glove, like you can tag and go. So Teoscar was delayed. Yeah, come on. Don't talk from afar, man. This is crazy.
Just while he hands it off, this is the perfect Monday morning quarterbacking where I'm not even so sure of the rules, but I'm still going to blame Teoscar for not running, even though I'm just on my couch and have no idea what's going on.
So think about it this way. Like if that wasn't the rule, if it wasn't first touch, then theoretically you could throw off people tagging up all the time by having a fly ball pop into your glove. I bobble it and then I grab it and say, oh, he left early, throw it back over. So it has to be first touch. That's my cameo.
That's big.
So it is Teoscar's fault.
Teoscar, yeah, that was Teoscar's fault, but frankly, I don't blame him because I didn't know that was the rule. I thought you had to have firm security, so like I'm not going to totally blame Teoscar for that there. But now he knows the rule and he will never forget it, and I guarantee everybody watching this right now and listening to this will never forget that rule again.
There's always something new in baseball. Let's keep going. So Freddie Freeman got the scoring started with a solo shot against Chad Patrick. He had a couple balls hard today. It's good to see him, get into some baseballs. And then in the ninth, Mookie Betts walked with the bases loaded, which proved to be an incredibly important insurance run. In the bottom of the ninth, Dave Roberts opted to hand it to Roki Sasaki. Before I talk about that inning, where were you at on that? Because obviously, watching after the fact, he should never have taken him out. That's the common comment that you're going to see. There was a part of me that said, let Blake Snell finish. I think it was more of I was enjoying it so much rather than that was a bad decision. Where were you at initially when he took Blake Snell out? Were you saying, yeah, that is the right decision?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad decision at all. I wouldn't have faulted him if he took him out after the seventh, to be honest with you, because he was right at about 93 pitches, I want to say, 92, 93 pitches. If he went 7 scoreless in 93 pitches, I wouldn't have faulted him. Blake Snell just worked over 100 pitches. Snell threw 103 pitches. By the way, 103 pitches, 69 for strikes. Take a bow, man. In terms of number of pitches and pitch total in the regular season this year, he fired 7 scoreless on September 17th, and he threw 112 pitches. So you could have said, all right, you know what? He eked out, another hitter or something like that. For me, Snell left the game with a 1-run lead. Would you rather have Snell throw a 9th inning when he's probably dog tired, or would you rather have Sasaki, who was unhittable in his first 5 appearances of the postseason? I don't blame Doc whatsoever for that. But the fact that he faced the minimum through 8 with 10 Ks is ludicrous. And he picked off the only guy that reached base.
I don't blame Dave Roberts for the decision, but did it look like he was tired? I know we're conditioned to say we're conditioned to say he was tired because he was up over 100 pitches, which sounds off the bells and whistles in your brain as baseball fans, where you think to yourself, "Oh, this guy has to get out of the game."
Yeah.
But it looked easy for him. I mean, he was just still cruising in the late innings. He didn't look tired to me. I'm sure if you asked Blake Snell, he'd been like, yeah, of course I was fine. It looked easy for him. Let's go to the bottom of the ninth, though. Hands it off to Roki Sasaki, who gets the first out. But then walks Isaac Collins. And then Jake freaking Bowers, just finding his way in the middle of chaos, rips a ground rule double clutch to center field. And then Jackson Chorio hits a sac fly. Then Roki would walk Christian Yelich. And you could tell sphincters were tight. And in comes Blake Treinen to try and get out William Contreras with runners on first and third. And then Treinen walks Contreras. Bases loaded. But Bryce Terang strikes out. Dodgers win 2-1. Yesterday, late at night, you and I were previewing this series and this game.
Yeah.
And did we call it to a T? Our analysis was the Dodgers are likely going to win this series. You were in 5-6 territory. I was firmly in 6. But I said, this is going to be a dogfight. Every Dodgers win is going to be close. It is going to be a battle of pitching because I'm still not totally sold on this Dodgers offense yet. Obviously, I am. But right now, they're not hitting like the Dodgers offense that we know. And against this Brewers pitching staff, it's really, really tough.
Yeah.
And we got exactly that in this game. I mean, the Brewers could have won this game. It came down to the final out. What a game.
And this is the fight in 5 that we were talking about, where the Dodgers could win this series in 5 games, but the Brewers have a positive run differential across these 5 games.
Yes.
And like that, we're steamrolling towards that being the case.
You can see when we would get a Brewers win and they win 7-1.
Of course.
Like if they just start throwing in bullpen arms and the Dodgers don't hit that day and punt it. And then we're like, we post a graphic, our phenomenal Twitter team posts a graphic. The Brewers won this series by 6 runs. Dodgers win in 5, though.
Yeah. Was that 9th inning not all of Dave Roberts' nightmares coming true?
All of Dodger fans' nightmares.
All of them.
Everyone from, I watched the Dodgers in passing to the biggest diehard Dodger fan.
It's just everybody knows. It's like, oh, even Sasaki has this now? He looked he looked like the Terminator in his first 5 postseason appearances, and he comes out today and he can't throw strikes.
And that's what sometimes can happen to the Dodgers, and that's why their bullpen is teetering. Because what if Roki doesn't have it one day? We get outings like that, but that's also got to be such a big confidence booster for Blake Treinen. I know he's a veteran; it's not like he needs it. He's not a young guy, but he has been struggling to get that out. And then to do that shout at the end, that's just got to feel so good for him internally. I know he's fine, but it's got to feel good.
Counter is he got bailed out twice on back-to-back pitches. He should have hit Terang to tie the game. And then after that, he threw a fastball at Terang's eyelids that he didn't lay off of.
So I didn't just say tried and pitched well. That's not what I
you
said.
You said that had to feel good.
I said he's got to feel good after that. That's got to be objectively true.
And I wonder what makes him feel good, the process or the result, because the process wouldn't make him feel good, but the result would make him feel great.
In the regular season, he would care about the process. He'd go back into the lab. I feel like in the postseason, you're just like, thank God, please.
I guess after like a walk to Contreras too, Treinen didn't throw well, but he somehow got out of that.
He should have hit Terang, would have tied the game. Oh my God, I'm still buzzing from that ending because we were lulled to sleep by Blake Snell all day. And just to recap what he did. 8 innings, 1 hit. And then eventually that guy was picked off. He was stealing. I can't really remember because it was only 1 base runner and it was kind of a bloop hit from Caleb Durbin. 0 earned runs, 10 strikeouts. And Jack, you'll love this. 0. Count them, 0 walks. He had a 61% whiff rate on his changeup. That is, in the regular season, Blake Snell's highest whiff rate on a pitch was his changeup at 43.5%. In this matchup, 61%. And you also have to factor in who it went against. The Brewers, in the second half of the MLB season, struck out at a 16.6% rate against lefties. That was the lowest in Major League Baseball. And he did that in Milwaukee. It is the first start in MLB postseason history with 10 strikeouts and less than 2 base runners allowed. Truly a historic performance. In 3 playoff starts this year, he has a 0.86 ERA, a 0.52 whip, 28 strikeouts to just 5 walks with an opponent batting average of 0.90. Snellzilla. You do not want to face him in the playoffs.
Dude. Lauren Shahadi asked Dave Roberts early in the game, I think it was like the 3rd or the 4th inning. She just said, does it feel like Snell's in a trance right now? And he said, yes, he's absolutely in some sort of trance. And he said, you can just kind of see it. And I almost understand that, where like Snell always looks like he's working on 3 hours of sleep and he's slightly nauseous, but it was even less now. It looked like he was working on 90 minutes of sleep and he actually had a tummy ache. And
He does look
that level of
nauseous.
locked in.
He does look nauseous. That was
Yeah, he looks like
stated.
he looks like he's about to throw up, but like not really. There are a couple of guys like Shane Baz looks super nauseous all the time. Blake Snell looks nauseous.
Shane Baz looks like he doesn't even like being out there. I remember watching him at the Futures game. I was like, it's so casual with him. Like, does he even like baseball? Of course he does.
Snell, I think, likes baseball. He's just tired.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, whatever. Just give me the ball. I'm going to throw a changeup. You going to hit it? No, obviously not. Give me the ball back. You want another changeup? No, give me the ball back. It's just like, let's get through this and let me dominate you.
You mentioned the no walks thing. That's the Blake Snell that I fell in love with. That's the guy. I mean, dude, when he's not walking anyone and when he's landing strikes at a 67% clip, whatever it was, against 69 of 103 for strikes, I mean, this guy, you see why he could be a $200 million pitcher. Like, Dodgers didn't give him that, but they gave him pretty darn close to that, and understandably so. The only guy that's going to beat Blake Snell when he's on is Blake Snell. And when Snell is not beating himself, this guy is the best pitcher in this rotation. And I love Yamamoto. I'm one of his biggest fans. I think Glasnow is awesome. I think Ohtani's been great, but Snell absolutely looked like the one in this rotation that's littered with ones.
Snell has won 2 Cy Youngs with below average walk rates.
He led the league in walks issued and won a Cy Young last year or 2 years ago.
When he's in the zone and with the emergence of this changeup, because this was not always here for him. Go back to 2022. Threw a changeup like 5% of the time, and it's just slowly been increasing. I'm watching his changeup work, and I'm just like, this is unfair. Did you just give him a Skubal changeup? Did you just give him a Sanchez changeup? And you might think, Peter, you're exaggerating. You're being hyperbolic like you always are. Yeah, maybe. 61% whiff rate against that offense? We all saw it. Coming out of his hand, you have these Brewers bats had no shot. And then, of course, he can spin that curveball. Of course, he can spin the slider. And then he's sitting 96.5 from the left side, pounding the strike zone. What do you sit? When he's throwing more changeups than fastballs.
This is nothing new for Snell. Snell was going changeup. I mean, he still is changeup exclusively to righties for the most part. In 2022, Blake Snell threw a changeup just 118 times. It was a 46% whiff rate against it. In 23, he was 18% changeup at a 47% whiff rate. In 24, he was 18% changeup and a 48% whiff rate against it. And this year, it's 24% changeup and a 44% whiff rate against it. It's been a really good pitch throughout the entirety of his career, but I feel like when we think Snell, we think 97 followed by the big bender. Like that changeup is somehow masked in his arsenal, but it's not. If you've been watching him, it's just I feel like the frustration for me with him walking the world and him like not being able to get through 6 just seeped into everything. And I refuse to acknowledge that changeup is one of the best in baseball. But when you watch it and you go pitch by pitch in a vacuum, like, yeah, nobody touches that. They swing and miss as much as really any changeup in Major League Baseball. That 45% whiff rate on the changeup, like that's right there with Sanchez and Skubal.
And then tonight, 61%. And if anyone is curious, like what are they talking about with whiff rate? It's a percentage of swings that end up in a swing and miss. So that means 61% of the time that they were swinging at the changeup, they're swinging and missing on it.
Yeah.
And they were lucky to get some foul balls in this game.
Yeah.
Diabolical. But I still I really want to talk about the game because I feel like we've talked about Blake Snell enough. This is going to be a fight. I just can't get over that. Like the Dodgers, I almost think to myself, they got to stop walking Ohtani to get to bats. Pitch to Ohtani. I know he had that one hard hit ball to first base today, and I know it's Shohei Ohtani. He can break out at any point. He's, the best player in our game. But walking him, I don't think is the answer. Right? I mean, in that last inning, right? Mookie then walks with the bases loaded. What if you just got out Shohei? I know, well, what if he got a hit too? And I understand why they're doing it. I'm just talking to my television screen while it's happening. I'm like, you don't need to. I know you're going to, but you can get him out right now. Do you disagree?
I don't know. I mean, it's Shohei Ohtani at the end of the day.
It is Shohei Ohtani.
Intentionally walking him in the 5th was was a little weird, but we were talking about it in real time. Like, it makes a lot of sense. You got a ground ball guy seeing Mookie Betts. You have the opportunity for Priester to get 2 for the price of 1 because he gets ground balls, and he did get that inning-ending double play. So, like, I get it there. Has Ohtani been tearing the cover off the baseball? No, but it's also Shohei Ohtani, who has back-to-back 50-homer seasons, and you know he could kill you with one swing, and he homered on his first swing of the postseason this year. So, like,
Yeah.
he's not that far removed from sending balls to Sheboygan, so I understand not wanting to pitch to him in Milwaukee.
Again, I totally understand why. I just think to myself, like, I think they can get him out right now. But the one thing that just refuses to sit well in my head is that, can the Dodgers win the World Series not even playing their best baseball? Like, it feels like to me, like if we had a football podcast during the Brady years where it's like kind of no matter what, he'd win. Like one day it would be the defense and like he doesn't play that well, but they go on and win. Or one day the defense isn't playing well, but then he plays well. Like, it just feels like this is a team that they win low scoring games. They win high scoring games. Sometimes they'll blow you out, but they're not playing good baseball. And they have one loss this postseason against good teams. The Phillies are a fantastic team. The Brewers are a fantastic team. And they just rode Blake Snell today, scored 2 runs and went home.
Say something nice about the Reds now. You have to.
Good starters.
Okay. All right, good.
Francona was great with the Red Sox.
he was awesome in 04, man. Yeah. That dirty water.
Yeah, that dirty water. He was great 20 years ago.
Yeah. Keep going.
No, that's I'm a big Spencer Steer guy. Great.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean keep going on the Reds. I meant keep going on your point. We're done with the Reds.
No, there's not much to say about the Dodgers. They're not playing well and winning. That makes them scary, but they continue to not play well and win. But I know it's coming. I understand Dodgers in 5. I mean, I don't know what to say, Brewers fans.
Yeah.
Blake Snell just went the minimum. 24 up, 24 down. I know there was a base hit, but then he got picked off or he was caught stealing. I can't remember. What do you do? And then now it's Yamamoto tomorrow. And you've beaten him up before.
Does the Peralta start on Tuesday night feel must win right now? Like, it almost feels as must win as the Savage Blue Jays start, and that didn't go well.
Should we do first take again?
Yeah, we can. Yes.
Is Yelich's legacy over if they lose game 2?
Oh, that's a good one. How about Chorio? Is 21-year-old Jackson Chorio or 22-year-old Jackson Chorio's legacy done after this?
But for real, do you think I'm thinking too much about the Dodgers instead of just enjoying what we're watching? Or do you feel that same weirdness where it's like, yeah, they're winning, but they're not playing well? I mean, Blake Snell clearly played well.
Yeah, honestly, I'm wondering when this whole bullpen thing bites him in the rear end. I just have no idea when it's going to. Like, it feels like a when and not an if, but every game we creep closer to a Dodger World Series, I'm like, okay, now it's an if and not a when. How can it pivot like that? Like, this bullpen is just not good right now.
No.
And when Sasaki is not unhittable, like, this thing gets really close.
But then their starters go 7.
Yeah,
you're just
I think length of the starting pitchers is the thing to watch for the Dodgers for the rest of October. Like, if they get to the World Series and through the CS, their starters have to give them at least 6. Snell giving them 8 was exactly what they needed today. I have no idea how Vesia would have thrown, but Sasaki didn't look good and Trinan didn't look good. And they somehow snaked their way out of there with a win.
And tomorrow, should we just preview tomorrow's game right now? Or should we wait till the end?
No, let's do it.
It's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto taking on Freddie Peralta. In the regular season, Yamamoto went once against the Brewers. It did not go well. Did not even finish the first inning. Gave up 3 earned. Quick trigger there. Freddie Peralta has won both of his starts against the Dodgers this year. And he has pretty good numbers, but nothing that should scare the Dodgers. They've seen him before. But they didn't even hit Priester. But then it's like, all right, if you're getting to Uribe, like, how are the Brewers going to win? You know what I'm saying? If you're getting to, but they didn't even really get to him. I don't know.
No, I think the Brewers win by like stringing hits together, and obviously that's not going to happen against Blake Snell right now. But it could happen against Yamamoto. Like Contreras can clip him, Vaughn can, Chourio can, all these guys can. Like we've seen this Brewer offense be good already in the DS against the Cubs. Why can't they be good against the Dodgers? Yamamoto is a different weight class than any Cubs starter that they ran out there. Snell is a different weight class. Snell facing the minimum across 8 innings, I understand why it happened. Snell is the best pitcher that the Brewers have seen in October.
Yeah.
Yamamoto is not pitching at the level of Blake Snell right now. Yamamoto's great. He had a great regular season. He looked human in his start in the DS. Looked human in his start in the wild card series. Like, it's okay, man. Like, this stuff can happen. Yamamoto was good in his start in the wild card series, but they can get to a guy like Yamamoto. It's just nobody's getting to a guy like Blake Snell.
I'm going to go with the Brewers in game 2. Because if I have Dodgers in 6, the way I did it in my own head was a split in Milwaukee. Dodgers take 2 out of 3 in LA, and then they win game 6 in Milwaukee. That's how I thought about it. So I'm going to stick with my initial prediction and give this one to Milwaukee because I think they're going to hit Yamamoto enough. But the Dodgers are probably going to hit Freddie. I mean, they're going to get one big swing, and especially with Freddie Freeman looking good because he was another bat in their lineup that has been struggling so far for his standards. So to see him hit a bunch of balls hard today, I mean, the home run, the double, talk about the camera work. Did you see that little mishap in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
The cameraman. But he also had a long fly ball too. His bat getting hot is huge for the Dodgers. And then if like Muncy's putting together these professional ABs, Will Smith is back.
Yeah.
Maybe not Brewers win tomorrow. I don't know.
I'm sticking with Dodgers in 5, but I do feel like tomorrow is the Brewer win. I've got 6-2 Milwaukee. They need 5 at least from Freddie Peralta. I see a comment from, I'm going to go with Janae in here. Brewers also maybe overexposing their bullpen a little bit with their starter depth and the length that they're not getting. Wholeheartedly agree. Like, no Woodruff is a serious problem. Quintana, is he going to be used? Like, they added Tobias Myers because they might need more bullpen length. Like, they might have needed another long guy. So, I mean, you have the opportunity to see all these guys again and again and again. But if Peralta gives him 5 and you can make your way through Ashby, Koenig, maybe Uribe again, he threw 25 pitches, and McGill,
who also threw 20.
Yeah, like I don't know. You repeat because it's all hands on deck, and you're down 1-0, and you're at home. Like, you go to
100%.
LA after this, and you got.
I'm just saying I think even though they didn't score off McGill, getting 20 pitches out of them was a win in and of itself.
For on the Dodgers side,
100%.
Yes, I will say I think tomorrow is a humongous must-win game for Milwaukee, and unlike Toronto, they actually do it.
We're stamping it.
Okay,
stamping must win.
That's fine.
Brewers win, maybe. But I could totally see how the Dodgers, if both are tied, you'd expect it to go to Milwaukee. I'll go with the Brewers. We need a 6-game series, or this can't just be both 2-game sweeps.
We need at least 5. We need at least 5, which is why I'm going 6-2 Brew Crew. Let's do it. Come on.
Let's do it. Brewers win game 2. Maybe.
Yeah. All right. We're going to tell you about the ALCS in a moment, but before that, I got to tell you about our friends at ETHOS. Here's the deal. If you're like me, if you're like Peter, that NLCS Game 1 upped your heart rate a little bit. And upping your heart rate could result in maybe like a thumping in your chest. And it's like, oh, God. If you're a hypochondriac, you get a little scared there. And what do you want to do? You want to make sure that your family is protected, right? You want to make sure that your wife, your kids are protected. And that's why you should trust our friends at Ethos Life Insurance. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not in months. There's no complicated process. It is 100% online. Get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. You can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policies as low as $2 a day billed monthly. As of March of 2025, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help find the right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/justbaseball. That's Ethos, ETHOS.com/justbaseball. Application times may vary and rates may vary. Time to talk about the Blue Jays and the Mariners. I've got the rundown of this one here. Seattle got a win in resounding fashion, 10-3 M's. I'm going to word vomit the whole thing onto you, and then we'll kind of go where we want to go in this one. But this was much less climactic, or I guess much more anticlimactic than what we had on the National League side. Julio Rodriguez opened scoring 3 hitters in with a 3-run shot against Trey Yesavage after Yesavage went over 5 innings and no-hit ball in K-11 Yankees, and it never really stopped. But Toronto did claw back against Logan Gilbert with 3 across in the front 2 innings, which came on RBI singles from Alejandro Kirk and 2 from Nathan Lucas. Good to see him in the lineup again after he hit a ball off of his kneecap in Game 1. But then Seattle poured it on. Jorge Polanco with a 3-run shot against Louis Varland in the 5th after John Schneider lifted Yesavage. J.P. Crawford played a run with a single. Josh Naylor blasted a 2-run homer, and J.P. brought in the final run with a sacrifice fly. The pitching side for Seattle was intriguing to me. Logan Gilbert surrendered 3 runs in 3 innings and had to throw 58 pitches. But Bizardo, Carlos Vargas, Emerson Hancock combined for 6 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball on the heels of Logan Gilbert. Trey Yesavage, by the way, 4 innings plus 5 runs. So the Mariners, using Bizardo, Vargas, Hancock, take a 2-0 series lead back to their place without using, before an off day, Spire, Brash, and Munoz in Game 2. It's coming up Mariners sweep right now.
It's coming up all Mariners. Now, in the first game, and I'm going to use another football analogy, it felt like to me that the Mariners, or let's call them the Seahawks, won 20-13. And the team that they were facing threw an interception right to the defender and fumbled. And I wasn't praising the Mariners as much as I know some Mariners wanted. And in part, they deserved. Bryce Miller was throwing strikes. The bullpen shut the door. But I was really disappointed in the Blue Jays, just like I would be with that other football team who I felt just kind of laid down and played a bad game. And then the next week follows, and you're wondering to yourself, can this offense show up? Can they do a better job? This was a 35-10 win, a decisive win where everything went right for them, except Logan Gilbert, who had to grind through it. We can't forget, Gilbert went 6 innings, 1 run, 7 strikeouts against the Tigers. And then on his throw day, instead of a light bullpen session, he threw 34 high-stress pitches. And then, with just a few days to prepare, now going into Toronto, where it did feel like after a loss, Toronto had a little bit more of an edge here. Now, still, Vladdy hasn't really showed up, but it was a better offensive performance, at least early. But then, the Mariners just poured it on. Jorge Polanco, playoff Polo, or Pollo. I don't even know.
Polo.
He's Polo. He's awesome.
He's playoff P. I'm ready to hand the playoff P nickname over from Paul George to Jorge Polanco.
I tweeted it out too, and I
just said Paul George should have never had it.
Paul George should have never had it. Should always be for Jorge Polanco. Josh Naylor, the first hitter in Mariners history to have 3 hits, 1 home run, and 1 stolen base. When you talk about Josh Naylor, you got to mention the speed and the power.
Yeah, of course. Speed is the first thing that comes to mind.
And Julio Rodriguez jumping on Trey Yesavage early put that crowd out of it. And the Blue Jays offense from the second inning on this entire series is 1 for 41 with 0 extra base hits, 5 walks, and 8 strikeouts. It was so funny. Someone said in the Discord, I didn't even realize Emerson Hancock brought a passport. That did make me laugh. But the Mariners pitching, they get the Blue Jays into this lull. They're pitching them perfectly. They're getting ahead. And they're forcing them into these bad at-bats. And they just smother them. But this was just an offensive barrage. Trey Savage, we just saw what he did against the Yankees. He put them through a meat grinder. And what do you do? First inning? 3-run shot for Julio to send a message, hey, we aren't the Yankees. You're going to have to play on your A-plus game to beat us. Even if you're an A-minus, you're not going to win. Doesn't matter if we're in Toronto. I don't care. This was the performance that I was looking for. I still felt like the Blue Jays offense fell apart late in the game, and it's shown up by the numbers. But the Mariners are simply better. That's my analysis. This is a better team than Toronto, point blank, period.
So the other thing that I want to throw on you, because a lot of credit goes to Seattle. You mentioned with the long ball, right? 3-run shot from J-Rod, 3-run shot from Polanco, 2-run shot from Naylor. This pitching staff may just be a clear-cut weakness for the Blue Jays. And Savage was amazing, again, at the DS. He was awesome, and he was amazing to end the regular season as well. Gausman is a really good pitcher. But it's not like Kevin Gausman was a sub-3 guy this year. It's not like they had any sub-3 guy this year. They had a bunch of guys that were good. We talk about this Dodger rotation full of ones. Like the Blue Jays had a bunch of guys that were 2/3s, and Gausman was a frontline, 2, maybe a back end 1. Bieber can pitch like a 1, but he wasn't really throwing like that at the end of the regular season. Savage pitched like a 1 in his first 4 major league outings, and then the 5th he didn't look like 1. But I look at this bullpen, and all these concerns are coming to life. Okay, Savage goes 4 innings, a 5-run ball. Varland allows a run on the homer. Fluharty allows a run. He gets just 1 out. Braden Fisher allows 2 runs. Yariel Rodriguez doesn't record an out. He walks 3 guys. And then you got to go to Bassett and Lauer in garbage time. Like every reliever that they turned to, and they didn't turn to Hoffman, they didn't turn to Dominguez, but Hoffman didn't have a good year. No. Dominguez is volatile. Like every single guy has an issue.
Yeah, I don't think they have a starting pitching issue. Kevin Gausman made one mistake.
So like let me rephrase. They have a clear bullpen issue.
Yes, where again it's really showing up here, and it didn't against the Yankees because the biggest takeaway, as I'm sure everybody wants to talk about, this is making the Yankees look like shit. The Blue Jays. Their bullpen is good if you compare it to the rest of the 30 MLB teams.
Yeah, I'm not ready to call it good in the CS.
With how good the Mariners' offense is, it's not good enough to withstand that heat, especially when you got multiple guys hitting home runs. Like they put up 10 today, and Cal Raleigh didn't do a ton.
No,
of course, he still had a good game.
And I see Julio, the Dragons. You know that dragon meme, the 3 dragons where like 2 are looking really fierce and then the other has like the tongue sticking out and they're going like cross-eyed. I look at the big 3. I look at the back third of the game if you lead by 2 runs. And I look at the National League side. And the Dodgers, I understand those guys didn't throw well, but like Sasaki backing that feels good. Vesia in the 8th feels good. And then whoever like is trying the guy, I'm not sure, whatever. Brewers side. McGill, Uribe, Ashby, whoever you want to throw. Koenig, whoever you want to throw. And then you go to the Seattle side and you look at Munoz, Brash, Spire, Bizardo. And then you go to Toronto and you say, is Hoffman, Dominguez, Fluharty, Little in that breath? Varland, is that in that breath? Nowhere close.
Nowhere close. So that's why it's like, all right, you're telling me Seattle has the starting pitching advantage pretty much every start. I mean, in game 3, I think it's going to be Castillo versus Bieber. I think I have that correct. Maybe you could argue that Bieber is a better.
3?
Yeah, game 3.
Game 3 is Kirby Bieber.
Kirby Bieber. You'd still give it to Seattle then. So if they have the bullpen advantage, they have the better offense right now, and a clear-cut bullpen advantage, the Blue Jays are going to have to really hit. And what, are you going to go hit Kirby at home? We just saw what he looked like against the Tigers. Yeah. And the Blue Jays offense, Vladdy is so important. If Vladdy is just grounding out, they're done.
Yeah.
They don't have enough to overcome it. Like George Springer is having good ABs every single time. He's not enough. If Dalton Varsho is hitting the way it is, they're done. Those guys, they have to surround Vladdy, and then Vladdy has to be the MVP candidate that we know he is.
Yeah.
And that's asking a lot because none of that has happened outside of George Springer so far. None of it.
And there are other things, like you take a peek at what happened in Monday's game. Like, okay, Nathan Lucas was 3 for 4 with an RBI. Kirk was 1 for 3 with a punch out. Clement, yet another knock. Clement's been awesome. Like Andres Jimenez is a black hole in the 9 spot. Like Andres Jimenez and Joey Ortiz, choose your fighter in the 9.
If he's not making that play at short today, remember that ball in the hole that he threw wildly to first base? If he's not making that play, why is he on the field?
Sure. But like
I mean,
Varsho went 0 for 4 with a punch out today.
His at-bats have been terrible. It's such a switch from the Yankee series to now. I mean,
they either need
couldn't get him out
to hit 2 homers, or they need complementary pieces to do something, and they just didn't really get anything. But obviously, it's not going to matter when Seattle puts up 10 runs.
And how are you going to do that against George Kirby? Because again, what has been the game plan for the Mariners starters that has stifled this Blue Jays offense? It's get ahead. Who's the king of throwing strikes? Kirby.
Yeah.
Now, can the Blue Jays hit him if he makes a couple of mistakes because he's going to be in the zone all day? Of course. But do we feel good about that in Seattle, where Kirby is so otherworldly dominant? Because now we're getting into all the home splits for the Mariners pitching, right? Going into the series and maybe going into the playoffs, we mentioned it that it might be a problem. Really hasn't been. And now you get him at home down 2-0.
I also heard Joe Davis and Smoltz talking about this during the game. It sounds like Wu is not going to get a start in the CS. Like he'll have more time to kind of ramp up, but there could be a bullpen appearance. And this is the softest landing spot you could possibly have in the ALCS, where you're up 2-0. You go home, maybe the most pitcher-friendly park in Major League Baseball in terms of just sight lines and screwing with hitters. And you can go Kirby right to Brian Wu. Like Kirby could throw 5 innings, Wu throws the 6th and 7th, and they hand it off to Brash and Munoz. That's disgusting.
Brian Wu is a borderline top 10 pitcher that they are putting in case of emergency.
Yeah. More time to ramp up for a possible World Series push.
That is diabolical.
Adam Jude, apparently, thank you, Pint Size Analyze. Adam Jude of the Seattle Times reported that he's likely starting Game 5, Brian Wu. Okay, so he's got a little bit more time. All right,
but
so I won't
if needed. They could win
I
in
won't
4.
listen to the bullpen thing. Yeah, what if he doesn't throw? Because you have Kirby against Bieber, and then you have Castillo against maybe a bullpen day for Toronto, Game 4?
Scherzer? Because it's not going to be Bassett. They've already pretty much announced that this guy's just going to be in our bullpen. He's going to be a weapon when needed. Weapon is maybe I'm going too far. I wouldn't describe it Chris Bassett. But he is a bullpen arm now. Barrios is obviously not on the roster because he's hurt with his elbow. So I think it's Scherzer. But backs against the wall, Scherzer. Could he deliver?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure.
Would that be his final start of his career if they get bounced in 5 or 6?
That psycho's going to keep pitching. And someone's going to sign him.
Yeah, of course. I would sign him.
Yeah. So, no, I wouldn't say so. But I don't want to, because John Morosi pointed this out back in 2023. The Texas Rangers in the ALCS won the first 2 games and then lost 3 straight. Now, they ended up winning the series 4-3, but it can happen. This isn't just over. But when projecting it out like we are, where are the wins? When the starters are this good and the bullpen is this good, where are the wins?
I'm just not sure. That's our program.
That's our program. And of course, we'll go live tomorrow to preview ALCS Game 3. So we'll recap Dodgers Brewers tomorrow and then preview the next game. We'll go a little bit deeper there, but that is our program. So
that's our program. By the way, programming note, Arm and I are out here in Arizona at the Fall League, so it might be 20 minutes later than we typically go live. We typically go live like 5 minutes after the final out, depending on the time it takes to get back from the Arizona Fall League game that we're at. We might be going live a little bit later, but you'll still get a live from us post-game.
Pint Size Analyzes asking, should we do a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. first take thing? Because
is this the legacy-defining ALCS for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.?
Well, the thing is, we already used that yesterday if they lose this game. So technically, by our logic, his legacy is done
Yeah.
for his career.
Is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. the biggest overpay in the history of sports?
Is he getting cut after the season?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. All right, there's your first take to end it. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. And again, if you are watching and joining us on YouTube, thank you so much again. I know it's late night. We appreciate you spending your deep into the nights with us. If you could just like and comment down below, we would really, really appreciate it. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you never miss any future videos. And if you're listening after the fact on audio, best way to support, rate, review on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. And if you would be so kind as to leave a written review, tell us what you like.
Yeah.
We really, really appreciate it. Of course, get your Just Baseball merch, and you can find the link to our Discord, the best baseball group chat in the world. Only $10 a month, less than a price of a sandwich. Go get there in the link in our episode description. For Jack McMullen, I'm Peter Apple. We'll see you tomorrow. And with that, thank you, everybody.
Is Vladdy just Kenny Pickett?